Hi, I'm Inanna, and today is day 7 of 17 days of me channeling No Self to give you the answers from my highest self on self mastery by going into deep, deep meditation. Today, during my meditation, a very powerful buzzword dropped into my consciousness in regards to self talk, which was vocal journaling. What better day to talk about talking to yourself and free will than day 7? As I teach on this channel, the mathematics for the matrix or this particular realm is mapped out in a 7 by 7 layout of 196 squares. And the number 7 is integral to our free will. It represents your choices of 3 choices to the left and 3 choices to the right with you at the center. It's an odd number, but it's odd for the purpose of giving you the ability to make your own choices either to the left or to the right. This is extremely powerful when we're talking about exercising our free will and talking to ourselves, something that is deemed as unhealthy and mentally unwell in this particular world. It is deemed as something socially unacceptable, and we are often forced to not self-talk through conformity and fear of being labeled. I believe that much of our mental health institution and the organization surrounding mental health is very archaic and outdated. When it comes to things that are deemed proper or proper behavior, these things tend to infringe on the natural abilities and gifts that exist within us, as well as the things that are most healthy for us, because no one wants to see you murmuring around and just talking to yourself. However, I'd like to reframe the way that you think about talking to yourself on a neuroscience level, because neuroscience shows that it's not only beneficial but healthy for us to have self-talk with ourselves and to be able to verbalize things fluidly without conforming or having any guardrails, speaking directly to yourself so that you can get the words out and say exactly what it is that you want to say. Journaling, taking a pen to paper and writing your feelings, is considered to be extremely normal. But when we talk about vocal journaling, now you're getting into dangerous territory, right? What if I don't feel like writing? Oftentimes, journaling can be very constrictive because you're not only adhering to the words and writing and using your hands, which my hands can get very tired, but you're also adhering to the conformity of the language, meaning that you're trying to structure your sentences as you're writing. And oftentimes it's not very fluid versus you just spitting it out and saying exactly what it is that's on your mind. Speaking directly in vocal journaling can help you self-express a lot better without any guardrails. And it's not as simple as talking to someone else, because oftentimes people tend to project when they're speaking to you. They tend to judge when they're speaking to you, or not even listen very well and have their own preconceived notions. Even when you're speaking to a therapist, a lot of times we police ourselves when we're speaking to other people because we don't want to be deemed as crazy, and we don't want to say those things that may get us flagged or something like that, or we don't want to say something to someone because they already have a prejudgment about us or an idea or concept about who we are in their heads. So it's much easier for you to talk yourself through your problems, but not without guardrails. There is a healthy way to ensure that your self-talk and your vocal journaling is beneficial by equipping yourself with things in your toolbox to make sure that you're getting the most out of these conversations and you're just not blabbering on without any solution. Neuroscience backs up and confirms that self-talk is intrinsic to human cognition. It supports planning, memory, as well as emotional regulation. We tend to spend a lot of time rolling thoughts around in our heads, and our brains are filled with so much on that information highway that it's hard for you to decipher even your own thoughts, and sometimes your thoughts begin to float off and you can't even capture what it is that you're trying to think about. So by speaking those things, you develop a flow of thought, and you can align those thoughts in a way that allows you to get it out. It is a very, very excellent mode of release and extremely key when we're talking about self-mastery and being able to control and get within your own body. The best person that understands your emotions is you. And sometimes it's a great practice to check in with yourself and also answer yourself, okay, how are you doing? And if it helps any, it would be good for you to have some tools in your toolbox that you can use to make sure that these chats are healthy, such as making sure that it's always based on a solution, that you're not just rambling on, that you ask yourself the question, okay, how can I solve this? Or what did I learn from this? Be sure that you're being introspective and that you are actually monitoring the things that you're speaking and making sure that you are being productive in the things that you are speaking about so that you can come to a proper solution or that you can better yourself over time. A lot of us are walking around with repressed emotions, thinking that the only way that we can heal is to go to a therapist and pay money out of our pockets in order to let someone allow us to ramble on about our problems, right? You can start by recording voice notes or videos of yourself, just kind of talking to yourself, and keep them as journals that you hide over time and come back and revisit just to see your progress to the solutions that you garner from self-talk. People always say that hindsight is 2020. I really wish that I had vented on video or had some type of voice notes to express the things that I felt back in the day so I can revisit where my frame of mind was and kind of gauge that where I am now. The only way to master getting in your body is to truly understand your emotion. Me personally, I used to never self-talk, but it's a practice that I developed over the last, I would say, 2 years, and it has become extremely healing for me. Sometimes I just take a walk and I ramble. If I'm angry, I go and talk it out. Yes, you're going to be called all kind of names, and I'm going to say whatever it is that I would normally say on the phone with a friend, but I'm saying it to myself. And don't worry, nobody knows that you're talking to yourself. They just think you're on the phone. Okay, put on some headphones. Your brain is built to talk and express itself. What better way than vocalizing exactly how it is that you feel and not being confined to the ideals that society has placed upon us about self-talk and how it's seen as unnormal? No, talk to yourself and get well. Taking long walks and talking to yourself is extremely therapeutic. There were times that I was going through very, very heavy things that I knew I could not speak to anyone about. So this was a great outlet for me to just go take a long walk. And by the time I got home, I was clear, I was very calm, and had gotten everything off of my chest. Even writing things down a little bit just so I can kind of get it all out. Use your free will, okay? Don't allow anyone to tell you what they think is crazy. Science confirms that self-talk is positive for our mental health, and it's time for us to reframe the way we want to handle our mental health versus what we're told by these institutions that are archaic from the 1800s and have still not updated their manuals in regards to spiritual wellness and the well-being of people who possess certain gifts. Last but not least, if you can't trust anyone, trust yourself. My biggest mantra in life has been, I refuse to lie to myself. And by carrying this mantra, it has helped me to be honest in those situations where I know that I was wrong about something, or not be delusional about the things that I'm saying to myself, and understanding by not lying to myself, I'm being true to my highest self. You can tell people whatever you want, but the last person you want to lie to is you. I hope you enjoyed this message. Please like, share, and subscribe, and put a comment down in the comments just to let me know what you think of this content overall. Keep shining bright. Peace, love, and light.